Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the No Sleep Theater. Tonight we have for you a Thanksgiving special. 3 stories to get you in the mood for the holiday. First up, we bring to you an amazing story from a very special author, me. So sit back and enjoy a tale that some are calling the greatest story ever written. Most people can relate to having that one black sheep in the family, that one weird cousin. Find out about mine in A Thanksgiving to Forget. And if you enjoyed tonight's video, don't forget to show your support by pressing the like and subscribing. And if you press the bell icon, you will be alerted when we upload a new video every Friday. A Thanksgiving to Forget by DB Keebler. It felt like my bladder was going to explode. We had been in the car for nearly 2 hours and Dad had refused to stop. When I saw the roof of Aunt Sheila's house peeking over the drive, I nearly jumped out of the car and ran the rest of the way, but Mom stopped me. She wanted me to help carry everything inside. I grabbed a bowl of sweet potatoes, stacked a pie on top, and potty danced my way to the front door. Before Dad could even ring the doorbell, Aunt Sheila burst through the door, arms outstretched, a big grin on her face, and her wide frame taking up the entrance to the house.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!
Something seemed off. She looked very happy to see us, but kept looking back over her shoulder into the house. We all greeted her and gave her hugs, but she wouldn't let us in. She looked over her shoulder again, then back at us. She spoke to us in a hushed and concerned tone.
I need to talk to you guys about Janelle. As you probably heard, her boyfriend Dave died in a car accident a few months ago. She has not been taking it well and has been acting pretty odd.
Her words continued, but I couldn't focus. I just nodded along, hopping from foot to foot, trying not to wet my pants. Finally, she opened the door and let us in. I rushed into the house and threw the dishes on the counter and gave a brief wave to all my family sitting in the living room before darting into the bathroom. I did take note that Janelle was sitting on the couch with her arm around some guy. Guess she found a way to get over her late boyfriend's death after all. I finished up my business and flushed. As I was washing my hands, I could hear faint voices coming from behind me. I turned around and see a vent. Out of curiosity, I put my ear up to it and hear my father's voice.
The fuck is wrong with her? What is she doing?
Calm down, Mark. You know Janelle's always been a little different.
I wonder what they were talking about. Janelle was kind of the black sheep of the family. She went through a goth stage that lasted into her 20s, and I've even heard my parents talk about her being into witchcraft.
Just let Sheila handle it. She said she'd try to get her help after the holidays.
I walked back out into the living room. I wanted to meet this new boyfriend of Janelle's, but they were nowhere to be found. They must have gone off into her room. Not something I wanted to walk in on. I proceeded to go through the rest of the standard Thanksgiving festivities while waiting for the food to hit the table. I played football with my little cousins, watched the parade on TV, and got to catch up with everyone I didn't get to see often enough. When Aunt Sheila called us to the table for dinner, Janelle was already in her seat, and I finally got a good look at the guy she brought to dinner. My jaw dropped. I recognized him from the pictures on her social media pages over the years. It was Dave, her boyfriend who died in the car crash. He sat there with a blank stare out of his one remaining eye. Where his other eye should have been was a large hole, which took away most of his cheek and nose. He was dressed in a suit and tie that were covered in dirt.
Kyle, there you are!
Janelle called out in excitement.
Where have you been? I don't think you ever met Dave.
I look over at my dad, who makes a gesture of shrugging his shoulders and shaking his head in disbelief at the same time. I rise from my chair and slowly walk over to the happy couple.
Hey Dave, nice to finally meet you.
I was so taken aback by this whole situation, I didn't know how to react. Janelle leaned over him and put her ear to his mouth.
He says he's very happy to finally meet you too. He's heard a lot about you. Sorry, he is pretty shy about talking to new people.
No problem. I can understand that.
I said uneasily as I made my way back to my seat. Through dinner, we all tried to do our best to ignore the situation and treat Dave like a living member of the family. My grandmother even tried to have a conversation with him.
So what have you been up to these days, Dave?
Janelle leaned in to pretend like he was whispering in her ear.
He says he's been having trouble finding work since the accident. He was working at his uncle's office, but if he wants that job back, he needs to work graveyard shift.
I just about choked on my mashed potatoes, trying not to laugh. I looked over and saw my dad doing the same thing.
Probably best to keep your options open now. You don't want to bury yourself in your work.
My mom and grandma both shot daggers at him. I tried my best to stifle my own laughter, but then I had to join in.
Dave seems like quite the find. Where did you dig him up?
Janelle didn't pick up on the joke and went right along telling us how they had met back in high school and have been inseparable since. She gave him a tight squeeze and a kiss on the cheek. Well, where his cheek used to be. As she pulled away, you could see a goopy string of pus or some other such fluid trail from his cheek hole to her lips, and that's when a chunk of flesh fell right off his face into the untouched turkey and potatoes that sat on the plate in front of him. That was it. We were all done with dinner at that point. A few people had excused themselves right there. Probably to throw up, I thought. Most of the family left right after that. It was only my parents, Aunt Sheila, Janelle, myself, and of course Dave. We all retired to the living room and continued to chat. Janelle had carried Dave with her, obviously struggling under his weight.
Since the accident, Dave has had trouble getting around on his own.
That makes sense. He did only have one leg left after all, and it was bent the wrong way. She sat Dave down on the couch and climbed up on what remained of his lap and put her arms around his neck. As the conversation went on, I noticed something on the floor underneath the happy couple. It was some sort of white mound.
Well, looks like you dropped something.
I got up and reached down to pick it up for them before I realized it's maggots. A big pile of maggots that was falling out of Dave's suit. That was enough. I couldn't take any more. I walked over to my parents.
I don't feel so well. Can we go home?
You are looking pretty pale there, champ. I guess it is about that time.
We gathered up our dishes from our sides we brought. Aunt Sheila and Janelle walked us out to the car, gave us hugs and thanked us for coming.
Thanks for having us. Everything was great. Make sure to tell David goodbye from us. It was a pleasure meeting him.
At that point, a voice came from the front door of the house. I looked over and saw a single eye staring out the darkness behind the door.
It was a pleasure meeting all of you too.
Always something new with Janelle. I hope Aunt Sheila gets her the help she needs. Dave comes off as a bit of a deadbeat, but Janelle does seem pretty dedicated. I guess we'll have to see what's new with her come Christmas time. Up next, we have a special segment for you. An anonymously written set of instructions on how to perform an ancient ritual to bring luck and prosperity in the upcoming year. But beware, if you are deemed unworthy, the repercussions could be deadly.
Sleepless Nightmare Productions presents No Sleep Life Hacks with your host, Shawn K.
Hello and welcome back to No Sleep Life Hacks. I'm your host, Shawn K. Today we bring to you a very special life hack that's going to help you with the upcoming year. We have today the Snowman ritual, and it was submitted to us by an anonymous viewer? Seriously, we're taking rituals from anonymous viewers now. Did we even test this out?
Dude, we're live.
Oh, crap. Yeah, today we have the Snowman ritual brought to us by an anonymous viewer, and we're really excited to present this to you. With the holiday season already here, a lot of us are worried what the new year is going to bring to us, our livestock, and our family. But with the Snowman ritual, you can take control of your own luck and ensure you have a great year, as long as you're worthy. Now, the following is a set of instructions on how to perform the Snowman ritual. This is a peace and prosperity ritual to be performed during the winter months in order to obtain favor and protection throughout the coming year, and will take 3 days to complete fully. The earliest written accounts of the ritual date back to the 4th century CE in Greater Scythia, now Ukraine and southernmost Russia. The translation has adapted the original materials used and the wording of the incantations to be more accessible for modern societies. Despite these changes, recent attempts suggest that the correctly performed rite is still very effective. Tradition dictates that this ritual be performed in the days between Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, but in theory, it should be effective during any cold period where there is a sufficient snowfall. This ritual works best for farmers and homeowners who keep livestock and/or pets. Urban apartment dwellers can attempt it, but will have a much harder time ensuring the ritual is not interrupted or disturbed during the 3-day duration. Warning: for your own safety, please listen to the entire instructions before attempting this ritual. Here's what you'll need. Snow coverage of at least 3 inches with temperature near or below freezing over a 3-day period. 2 tree branches or wooden sticks, preferably forked at one end. String or rubber bands. Plant materials such as dead leaves or dried grass. Vegetable oil such as canola or olive oil. Animal materials such as a strip of leather, clump of fur, cluster of feathers, etc. Animal blood, such as cow or pig's blood, and this can be purchased at your local butcher shop or supermarket. Scissors, a sterilized needle, a lock of your hair, and a drop of blood. At the edge of your property, build a snowman. It must be at least as tall as you are, so be sure to set aside the time and energy necessary, or enlist family and friends to help you. Ensure that the front of the snowman is facing away from your house. Use the tree branches on either side to form the snowman's arms, but do not give it a face. This will come later. At sundown, take the plant material, the vegetable oil, and the string or rubber bands out to the snowman. Facing the snowman, you should be looking at your house over its shoulder. Secure the plant material to its left hand, your right hand, with the string or rubber bands. At sundown, take the plant material, the vegetable oil, and the string or rubber bands out to the snowman. Facing the snowman, you should be looking at your house over its shoulder. Secure the plant materials to its left hand, your right hand, with the string or rubber bands. Dip your fingers into the vegetable oil and press the finger into the left side of its face, your right side. This is the snowman's left eye. As you do this, recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my land, hollowed soil on which we stand. Snowman, snowman, bless my home, guide me back if e'er I roam. Afterwards, return to your house, lock the door, draw the curtains, and go to bed before midnight. If you wake up in the night and hear shuffling noises in the snow, do not open your curtains. The snowman is moving about, judging if your land and home are worthy. If you wake in the morning and the snowman has returned to its original position, congratulations! Your land and home will be safe for the next year, and you will be sure to return from any long journey you take. If you wake in the morning and the snowman is on a different part of your land, take heed of it. Whatever it is near will be affected by some calamity within the following year. If you wake in the morning and the snow is not melted but the snowman is gone, move. The next day at sundown, take the animal material, the animal blood, and the string of rubber bands out to the snowman. Facing the snowman, you should be looking at your house over his shoulder. Secure the animal material to its right hand, your left hand, with the string or rubber bands. Dip your finger in the blood and press your finger to the right side of its face, your left side. This is the snowman's right eye. And as you do this, recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my herd, pet and cattle, fish and bird. Snowman, snowman, bless my flock, grow them grass from thorn and rock. Afterward, return to your house, lock the door, draw the curtains, and go to bed before midnight. If you wake in the night and hear a shuffling noise in your house, do not open your bedroom door. The snowman is moving about, judging if the animals in your care are worthy. If you wake in the morning and the snowman has returned to its original position, congratulations! Your pets will be healthy for the next year, and any livestock you own will thrive.
If you wake in the morning and there is an unexplainable puddle of water near something your pet owns, like your dog's bed or your bird's cage, take heed of it. You should probably look into pet insurance for the next year. If you wake in the morning and the snow is not melted, but the snowman is gone, say your goodbyes to them while you still can. I am so sorry. The next day at sundown, take the scissors and the needle out to the snowman. Facing the snowman, you should be looking at your house over its shoulder. Use the needle to draw a drop of blood from your fingertip and draw it in a straight line across the snowman's face, forming a groove in the snow. This is the snowman's mouth. Using the scissors, clip a lock of your hair and stuff it into the groove of its mouth, ensuring that the hair does not fall out. As you do this, recite the following. Snowman, snowman, see my breath, drawing ever unto death. Snowman, snowman, bless my heart, judge me whole and hence depart. Afterwards, return to your house, lock the door, draw the curtains, and go to bed before midnight. If you wake in the night and feel cold, dark presence in your bedroom, do not open your eyes. The snowman is standing over you, judging if your soul is worthy. If you wake in the morning, congratulations. The snowman will have returned to its original position, having judged you worthy. You can expect good health and good fortune in the following year. Now here's a warning. To date, there are no surviving accounts of what happens to someone who is judged as unworthy. Take from that what you will. The next day before sundown, preferably when the sun is highest, go over to the snowman, approach it only from behind, do not walk around to face it. Demolish the snowman completely. Break the tree branches into as many pieces as possible. Scatter the snow around your yard as evenly as you can. Make sure that no trace of it remains. Say absolutely nothing. Once the snowman is demolished, the ritual is complete. Enjoy your year of peace and prosperity. Use it well, for when the days grow short and your luck runs thin, you may find yourself looking anxiously for the next deep snowfall. If so, I pray the snowman may judge you worthy this year and every year after. How chilling. Do any of you out there plan on taking the risk of performing the snowman ritual? Let us know in the comments below and in the comments of the original story linked in the description. And while you're at it, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. Our final tale tonight comes from the subreddit ShortScaryStories and tells a story of a new type of pilgrim who were greeted with open arms by some and bigotry by others. Maybe peace will be made by sharing a new Thanksgiving tradition. A New Thanksgiving Tradition by CardinalGrad03. Everyone has a favorite Thanksgiving tradition. My family always had a huge party Thanksgiving night. We invited our friends, co-workers, anyone who wanted to come. It was a great way to get rid of the leftovers from a huge dinner my wife always made for the two of us, and that kept me from having to eat various combinations of turkey recipes well into the following weeks. Our parties lasted until at least 2 in the morning. That was because it takes that long to get a full game of Mexican train dominoes. Those were the days. One night of crazy fun, then a year to recuperate. That all changed when they arrived, just 2 years ago. We welcomed them into our group. Alexis and I were never prejudiced, despite the way the media instilled fear and panic into the masses, branding a new phobia buzzword. It was all we saw on the news for those weeks. Those massive oval ships hovering over every major city, proclaiming an unknown silent agenda. None of our governments had been able to establish communications, and this went on for several more days. 2 weeks later, the leader emerged from the main ship over San Francisco and told the world that they meant no harm. That was all I needed to hear. A few of the neighbors didn't like the idea that we invited some of the locals to our annual Thanksgiving shebang. At first, Alexis yelled at them, claiming there was the same bigoted intolerance we've always had to fight. I calmed her down. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. I've never expected others to live by our convictions. If the neighbors didn't want to come over, that just left more food for us. No harm done. I was worried the language barrier would be problematic, but one of the new guests provided us with some kind of nifty translation device the size of a pea. You just swallowed it like an aspirin, and from then on you could understand everyone. It made my job as a call center rep for a large package delivery service much easier. As I said, everyone has different traditions, and the Pterodelphians, as they've come to be known, love feasts. They celebrated their version of Thanksgiving once a month here, and they always wanted to have parties at our house. We were cool with it for a while, until it became a daunting chore of cleaning the house and entertaining non-stop. Alexis griped about how she'd gained 25 pounds. That was nothing compared to the 40 that I'd put on the last 2 years hosting like this. It was time to tell our extraterrestrial friends we weren't up to hosting anymore. We weren't the only ones. Several friends I knew didn't want large holiday meals so often either. Then people started disappearing. Turns out, the translators were also tracking devices, and the Pterodelphians loved hunting more than they did Thanksgiving. What a stellar tale. Gotta hand it to the host. To throw parties that often, you really have to plan it. Sounds to me like the Pterodelphians were planning the hunt all along, using up the host's resources with the monthly feast and fattening them up at the same time. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below and in the comments of the original story linked in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out one of these other great videos we created. Happy Thanksgiving.